Lee, really good 3 points there on Saturday up at Arbroath. You warned us this was going to be a tough game and it turned out that way.
Yeah, as I say, I think it's possibly the most difficult away fixture you can get, and it proved to be so. It was on the knife edge all the way through, but luckily enough we got over the line and scored a couple of good goals, good build-up. But I think the big thing for me was obviously knocking it about in relation to clean sheets. So getting a clean sheet was great, and we had to stand up to a lot of pressure, which we did, which allowed us. We earned the right to go on and win the game from that, and I think that's probably a big message that we took from that game, is about earning the right to win games this season, and we certainly did that on Saturday, and it was great to head back down the road with the 3 points.
You also had a very strong bench, but you could have picked a lot of different alternatives, and you came up with the idea, obviously, of JML there just coming down that left-hand side, and that really did play into getting that win.
Again, we talk about it all the time and try and look for different things that are reasons behind it, the successes and defeats and good points, bad points and everything like that. And it was Keith that pointed out that this season, 7 of our goals, 25% of our goals have come from substitutes, whether they're creating the assist or scoring the goal. Obviously Jayden come on, had a massive impact in the game there, but Dara's done it. Sam's come on and got bits and pieces. Mark McKenzie scored a couple of goals. So it just proves how important, one, the way the boys are training, and two, how important the reserve games are for when they get the opportunity to come on, they can have that big an impact like Jayden had on Saturday and go on and win us the game.
Now, again, we talk about it all the time, no easy games, and here comes another great one. Are we seeing top of the table clash too often just now? It looks like it's going to be a real tasty one.
I hope we see it until the end of the season. Listen, it's another great game. We've played them twice already this season. There's not been much in either game. We got the best of them in the league game. It was a draw in the cup, but obviously they beat us on penalties. Both tough games, both battles. I think Dougie's done a fantastic job since going in at Capello. His players are bought into his style of play and the work ethic and the desire that he's asking from them. And there's certainly no pushovers as we've found in the 2 games we've played so far, and they're rightly so up there near the top of the league at the moment. So they'll be pushing to try and beat us, to try and go level with us on points. But it's up to us to, as I say, find a solution, find a way through, and get the 3 points again.
Now, nitty-gritty stuff. What's it like in the squad just now? Any injuries to report on Saturday?
There's a couple of wee bumps and bruises. Logan had a little knock. Hustie's been carrying a little knock up this week, but we're hoping that everybody will be available for selection come Saturday, but we'll assess 1 or 2 of them at training tomorrow.
And again, it's the difficult choices to make to put a team out.
Good choices, tough choices to have, but really important choices. And again, that's down to these guys pushing each other, desperate for the opportunity to get in the team and get a chance to start the game on a Saturday, and that's what you want as a manager. You don't want the easy choices. If I've got easy choices picking the 11, then it means the other 11, 12, 13 in the squad are not pulling their weight. I don't have that in our group.
Jayden, great goal on Saturday, your first for United. Callum interviewed you after the game and you were sort of playing it down a little bit, but you were saying beforehand you managed to watch it back. Just for the fans that didn't manage to see it, take us through that goal again.
It was more just being positive and direct. I mean, it was more getting the ball out of my feet, and I heard a shout, and it was just say, be direct, take him on, and that's what I did. I was just direct, took him on, and I made myself have a little yard of space, and I took the shot, and it went in. So yeah, it was a nice feeling scoring my first goal, but hopefully there's many more to come.
And the week seemed to just get better and better for you. The reserve game against Kilmarnock on Tuesday, and that rocket of a straight into the top corner. Like Lee mentioned, how important are the reserve games for players like yourself who maybe are just looking to build up that kind of match fitness?
But it's important for everyone. The players that start the game might have to play the game on a Tuesday. Everyone's been involved in it. It's important, as you can see from the subs that have come on in every game. They've made an impact and they've been positive. So it's good that we have those games, because players like myself who have been in the squad for a little bit is made me continue building my fitness, and it's gives you a lot of confidence as well. And even it's a reserves game, but you're still scoring goals, so it gives you confidence. And scoring a goal on Saturday has given me a lot of confidence, which I needed. And it's just hopefully I can continue doing that.
Obviously, big game on Saturday, like Callum mentioned, top of the table clash against Morton. What are you expecting from them from a kind of player's perspective?
It's just like any team in this league. They're all physical. They'll all give you a kick and a whack, but we have to adapt to the game as how it comes. We know how they play. We know what sort of team they are. It's just going out there and doing what we do as a team, as we've done for the majority of the season. It's just being positive, playing football, and hopefully winning the game.
Claire, the ladies team made the long journey to Aberdeen on Sunday, the cup quarter final, which you guys won, and you're now in the semi-finals. Can you tell us a bit about the game?
Yeah, it was a tough game. The team we played in the league below us, so although it's a League Cup, it's actually Championship and League One Cup because of the lack of teams. So that'll be one season that we do this. We played against West Dyke, who had been unbeaten up until that game on Sunday, and they never made it easy for us. They were really tough to beat, believe it or not. We had our chances. We shot many times in the first half, and it was only 1-0 at half time, and it wasn't until the second half you got the second goal. But in between that, they were getting their chances, so it was actually quite nerve-wracking. We did have moments in that game where no 100% we were getting there, although it's going to be one of the games, like I always say, coming away frustrated because we were the better team for the majority of it, but we make it difficult for ourselves still.
And you're away to Rossvale on Sunday. What are your thoughts ahead of the game?
Rossvale is always a difficult game for us. They've got a really good defence, really good goalkeeper. They're just hard to score against. I think I've said it before that they're not a big goal scoring team, but they're really hard to play against. They played their quarter-final on Tuesday night against Livingston, and they beat them 2-1. So it's always these small scores, small margins, and that's what we're going to face on Sunday. It'll be interesting, but we are really ready for it. We always say we prepare through the week, and we go into the Sunday with an aim and a target. So obviously we're going to go in trying to beat them, hoping to come away with 3 points.
It was announced yesterday that you're in the team of the month. How did that feel when you heard that?
I don't know, it was just a bit of a shock. Somebody sent it into the group chat, so I never actually seen it get announced. It was just put in the group chat, and I was actually at work, so I had to just put it away. But it's quite good. It's nice to be named and to get acknowledged. They've put me in the right of the park though, and I play in the left of the striker, so I need to speak to somebody about that. But it's quite a nice feeling.
And Claire, Karen was touching about the game at the weekend there in the cup, but we've been unable to get a women's representative the last few weeks. Just kind of for the fans that haven't really heard much about it, take us through how the last few weeks have gone for yourselves.
So last weekend we played against Livingston, who are sitting top of the table. It was at home for us, and again so frustrating because there was a point of the game that they were up 2-1 and we had a penalty. Somebody missed it. Devastating. But after that we also had a goal disallowed for offside, and we've watched it back, it was never offside, like clear onside. That would have taken us to 3-2 in that game, but ultimately the game ended 4-1 to Livingston. So if you're watching the game, you know that the scoreline doesn't reflect it, but to just look at the paper and look at the stats, you just think that we're getting hammered, but we're putting up a fight every week, and we're still at this wee niggly point that it's just, we just need to take the chances, and obviously decisions going against us isn't great, and people missing penalties isn't great, but we're fighting hard, and we really have got a belief that it's coming for us, and I've said it so many weeks. Then you get your wee successes and you get your wee wins, but it's clicking as a team, and it is coming. So to play against Livingston, they're top of the table anyway, they're a great side, they're tough, but we were really gutted to come away a 4-1 defeat in that game on Sunday.
How mentally tough is it, like you said, just to know that you are in those games but you're not quite putting away the chances? How do you deal with that?
Honestly, it's terrible. It's hard to explain. I'm in such a bad mood for a good 24 hours after it. You know, I write into our group chat and things like it affects me so much. I can't be bothered talking to people, and you replay it in your mind. You know where you went wrong. You know the margins that are so fine that if you just done that, or you just scored your penalty, or if you just the small things that happen, it really does kill you as a player, because it's like if you've not got a crowd watching, our games don't get aired, so all people can see is the stats online or what's written in paper, and it doesn't reflect us as a team. It doesn't reflect our performances because we're actually a really good footballing side.
And our final question, so Jayden, this is the second week in a row you've lost the volley competition now. So we're just wondering where your choice is for buying the cakes.
He needs to take a bank loan out to pay for the amount of cakes he's had to pay for.
To be fair, I've come to a deal with the boys. I'm not going to buy the cakes for tomorrow. I'm just going to give them money
Into the kitty.
Into the kitty. It's getting too much for me now. I'm not going to lie. It is. No, it was. I blame the server, if I'm honest.
That's you out the squad on
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to hear. You know, these are kind of things with the squad. We've seen Karen's photographs and little pieces of video going on. There seems to be a lot of fun going on, but we are hearing things about cake gate with people not mentioning their birthday dates and things like that. I'm not saying who that was. How do you organise all that? And how
conspiracy theories coming out. Eh? Oh, that's self-managed amongst the players, Gal. Don't get me wrong, I do feed it for the volleys, but listen, every Thursday morning, for the people that don't know, every Thursday morning at the end of training, we do edge of the box volley competition. They flick it into my hands, I feed, they score a goal, then they're safe, and the last man to score brings in the cakes on the Friday. Or if somebody has that bad a shot that ends up going over the fence, which is about 30 foot high, then they also, that's it, immediately finished, and they have to bring the cakes in.